All right, we're here with Urbana head football coach Tyler Haines, whose team travels to Buchanan, West Virginia Saturday, 1:30 kickoff against West Virginia Wesleyan at Ross Field. Coach, your team's coming off a big win at Lake Erie, 33-30, a very tight game, back and forth, which we saw the UU offense clicking, particularly on the road, or on the ground, in the rushing game with Rudisil and Presley. Presley scored twice in the fourth quarter. Give us your quick reaction to how your team performed last week.
Well, number one, like you said, offensively we came to life a little bit, and primarily because we were able to run the football. Both Cedric Presley and Deontay Rudisil ran the ball well, but really that's attributed to the offensive line. They're coming together. They're about 6 weeks in together. Then you throw in a couple weeks of camp and a new offense and a new scheme. So they've got the jitters out. They understand the offense, and now it's getting back to the physicality of it, and they're creating some nice running lanes for those running backs. And when you're able to run the ball like that, it opens up opportunities for Pelfrey in the pass game to get going. But so if you're struggling to run the ball, you're usually not passing the ball well. And, this offense is based on the ability to run the ball first and have answers off of that, and that's what happened last week.
And also, you mentioned Pelfrey, no turnovers, no interceptions, and he was pretty efficient, 14-21, 2 touchdowns. Kind of hit on his progression so far as he's taken over the starting role.
With Birdie getting hurt, against West Liberty, we asked Eric to step in there. He's really a receiver at heart, and he's a competitor. He took it as a challenge to be the starting quarterback, and has developed through these last 3 weeks. Considerably. Still made plenty of mistakes, but I'm proud of his effort. Their media afterwards kind of asked about him, and they said that he just willed us to the victory. And there were times in that game where he stepped up to the plate and made plays on his own that we desperately needed. And I'm proud of his progression. He has a long way to go, just like the rest of us. But again, when you have a solid run game behind him, some receivers making some plays, he definitely played well, and we look forward to this week with him as well.
Okay, now this is your only back-to-back road game schedule, 2-week span this season. How do you carry over that momentum from a win where you kind of haven't really been able to do that this season after a win, and then also with facing the challenges of travel for 2 straight weeks?
All right. Well, this year I'd rather be traveling every week. We played a lot better on the road this year for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a little bit more of a focus, more of a camaraderie with a smaller group traveling. I'm not sure, but to answer your question in terms of carrying it over from one week to another, every week is a new week, and we just need to refocus on what we've done. Learn from the mistakes and the successes of the last week and carry that forward. Usually a young team and a team that's not used to winning doesn't know how to react to a win or a loss usually. So that's the job as the head coach, to carry over that momentum. And how I do that is just focusing on, number one, learn from the mistakes the prior week, highlight the good things, and then move on, because it's a brand new week with a brand new battle coming.
Okay, and now taking a look ahead at this week's opponent, West Virginia Wesleyan. They're 0-6, but they're playing well as of late. They're coming off a 4-point loss last week, and combined, they've lost, I think, by 11 points their last 2 games. And then they have this young quarterback that stepped up, threw for nearly 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Give us your quick kind of thoughts on West Virginia Wesleyan this week.
My initial thought is, as you said, they are much improved. I mean, you see them week to week getting better every single week. They took Fairmont last week all the way to the wire, and they've been able to score points every game. It's usually a high-scoring game because they give up some points, but the quarterback is doing well. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Their running game has been solid throughout the year. They have a couple young receivers, a freshman receiver that is explosive every time he touches the ball. So what I see an explosive offense, able to score at any time of a game, and a defense that gave up a lot of points early in the year, but is getting better every single week. And we have our hands full, like you said. They haven't won a game yet, but they're much improved, and we got our hands full.
So what are the keys to victory this week for the Blue Knights?
Same as every week. Starting with the offense, we got to maintain running the football. I mean, if we can run the football, things will open up for us. Need Pelfrey to take care of the football. Everybody take care of the football. If you don't turn the ball over offensively, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you have a good chance to win the game. So that on the offensive side. On the defensive side of the ball, I'd just like to see us get back to our aggressive style of play. They had us on our heels a little bit last week, and part of that was because they were good offensively, Lake Erie was. So I'd like to see our defense get back to pinning our ears back and playing the defense that I've seen earlier in the season.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.